Hi, welcome to episode 6 of TrailMixed podcast. I'm Angela,
And I'm Sage.
and today we wanted to pretty much touch on our quarantine experience up until this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do we want to start? From the beginning of quarantine or
Yeah.
okay. So as far as quarantine is concerned, we are a pretty unique situation where both of us are still working. The
hmm
only difference is that I'm now working from home, but you still work outside of the home.
Yeah. I still go to work every day.
Yeah, so
I'm quote unquote essential.
mhm.
Um, I knew our business would, or where I work would stay open since we grow cannabis. So I kind of saw it coming because our boss kept asking us if we get locked down, like, is there anyone that would be willing to quarantine in the garden for a month or two? And luckily, it didn't come down to that. We can still go home and whatnot, but we're taking a lot more precaution at work, wearing face masks, sanitizing ourselves more often, and just being extra cautious.
Yeah, for me, we like how do I explain? Like countries, the not countries, sorry, the states around us started quarantining,
hmm
and our company man, not manager, president was sending out notifications like as of right now there's no quarantine, but we want you to take extra precautions and so on. And then literally by the middle of that week when he started sending out notifications for us to be more cautious, they like told us that everybody was going to start working from home literally the next day. And then we set everything up for that, and then that morning I logged in, and then Nevada went into a state of like our stay at home order took place like literally the next day. So I think he had some inside info, but it makes sense
Sure.
because I work for the government. But um yeah. So I've been working from home since I think March 18th.
hmm
So we've been quarantined for over a month now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
have.
yeah.
I just don't feel like a quarantine's in place. Like I get it. Like on the weekends we stay home, even though we do that regardless. But because I'm still going to work and getting gas and doing everyday things, it's just a little bit more precautious. Going to the grocery store is where I feel it the most.
Yeah, we don't want to sound ignorant. We're not sitting here saying that this is like
No, I'm
not
not saying
happening. Like it's
no,
definitely happening. People are definitely passing away from this. This is definitely something to be taken seriously.
for sure.
But for us personally, we just haven't been as hit as hard
In
personally
our day to day
in our
lives.
day to day life because we don't really go out very much as is. But it is still really scary seeing how things have been changing and then knowing people personally who've had the
Yeah,
virus.
because one of your coworkers had it, right?
Yes, my one of my coworkers has the virus, had the virus, and then I've known people like siblings of another coworker who had the virus as well. And then I have friends who are healthcare providers who are literally one is at one of the coronavirus wards in the major hospitals here, and then I have one that's a first responder. So I hear about it from firsthand experiences and things like that, and it's not anything to be taken lightly. I'm not here trying to berate that. Like that's not the case at
Yeah.
all. But we just wanted to kind of share our experience.
hmm
Yeah. So, do you think that our dynamic has been affected at all?
No,
Di-
our relationship dynamic,
or just like in general?
like you and or
Mhm.
I don't think so. The only difference is you're always here.
Mhm.
Like it used to be, you would leave at like what 5:45 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I had that time until I go to work by myself, and then you would get home, and you would have like the same amount 3 hours until I got home.
Yeah.
But now it's like
The only time we really spent in the morning when I'm getting dressed and then at night before bed.
yeah, and now it's like you wake up and you go log in on your computer, and we can hang out, or I'll be in here doing stuff on the computer, and you'll come in and talk and whatnot. So it's just we
Yeah.
see each other more. But I don't feel like anything's changed in our dynamic
Mm.
for the negative or positive, really.
I feel like yeah, the biggest change is just the amount of time that we spend together. That's probably the biggest thing. But other than that, like, I don't know that much has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still, oh, well, even on the weekends, I feel like we've spent more time apart. Like, you'll have other things to do, and I'll spend my alone time or do schoolwork and stuff like that. While before, we spent a lot of our, like, all of our free time together.
Yeah. Well, now it's like we're trying to do other things
Hmm.
to keep us busy, just so we
That's very true.
don't get. Not that we do get bickery, but bicker, get sick of each other, for lack of better words. Not that that happens, but I was at the grocery store the other day, and I heard like three different couples fighting over like monotonous things, like groceries or what they did at home. I'm like, these people are getting sick of this quarantine.
Yeah,
Like
but
I can
can you imagine the pressure of being home with your spouse all the time and having kids that aren't in school? Well, they're still doing schoolwork, but like you have
are
to,
they?
they're still doing schoolwork, and you have to like teach them. Like now you're a stay-at-home teacher,
Mm-hmm.
and before you were just working your 9 to 5. Like I can't even imagine what's that like. I have a sister who is home with my 2 nephews, like all day. I don't know how she's dealing. Maybe I'll have to talk to her about it, but I'm really curious to see how she's doing.
Yeah.
Like balancing that, you know.
Is she working? She's not working,
She is working,
but from home.
but from home.
Okay.
And then she has a grade school kid and then a toddler.
Yeah.
Like,
See, I couldn't imagine just literally staying home for that long. I mean, I could because I just play games and
mhm.
do stuff
Yep,
like
other
that.
things.
So it's like I could see it being just normal, just a period of time, but with kids and a husband or a wife and just your life changing like that and
Yeah, like
for the foreseeable future. I
mhm.
mean, there's no.
Like there's nothing we can do about it. Like I think that's the hardest part. I'm not gonna sit here and say that. Like I feel like the largest effects that we've had are probably mental. Like seeing the news and stuff like that. Like that's really downing.
For sure.
Like I can't get on Facebook that much anymore because I get a lot of news from my Facebook feed. Like I follow a lot of news related things, and I just get so frustrated. Especially when you see people out here parading in the streets. Like there are people literally dying, and they just
Think their freedom's being taken away.
and it's like,
I mean,
well, you have to think of it as
it is in a sense like it's not your choice, but it's not all about you. You know what I mean?
mhm,
It's for the human race in a sense.
exactly.
Like you can't just be out here like, oh, I need to go to the hair salon or I want to go back to work. Like we get it. Your family might not be the most fun,
I see your roots are growing out, but literally,
but
literally, your hairdresser has a family at home.
yeah.
You know, like the issue is bigger than you and what you want today.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is about you, your family, and then the connections that your family has to others. You know, I don't know.
It's crazy,
It is.
and who knows how long this will go on.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I'm thankful.
Well, there are states that are opening up now.
Yeah, but those states are not looked at as the smartest states.
Oh, jeez. But I mean, I just hope that the citizens of these states, like proceed with caution
Yeah,
because you never know.
you
They
don't.
say we haven't hit our peak and we haven't been on a downward trend yet. So, or a downward trend and what do we call it? It's supposed to be like 14 consecutive days of downward trend before they feel that it's safe for us to like begin to interact with one another.
But with the way this virus is and how contagious it is, do you think we won't hit our peak until at least half the world is infected?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Then you literally go downhill on numbers every day.
Anyway, the idea is that you probably don't want it to get to that bad to where
No.
that has
I
to be
mean,
the case.
the way they're talking about it, it can live on surfaces for so long.
Of course. But this is things like I feel like we've been new. It's just now that people are like, oh, really? Like they've been new.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, and I feel like I did get short with you last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in a mood. And it's like I can't just escape my mood. Like before we didn't live together. So I live at home. Like I just don't gotta text him for a few weeks. I mean not a few weeks, a few hours. You know? And it's not a big deal. I can like exist in my moods on my own.
Yeah.
But it's like everywhere I turn, you're there.
Yeah.
So how am I supposed to deal with this?
I'm in the same boat.
I know.
So yeah, you were definitely short.
Yeah. But then I was like, Angela, get over yourself. So we talked about it, and then it was over. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing's really changed though. The only thing is restaurants are closed. That's the biggest change for me. And I don't mean to sound like, oh, that's my biggest problem, but like that's the biggest thing I noticed. Like,
Because we used to eat out.
yeah,
Like we'll go on dates, like we'll go to movies and things like that.
movies
But
too. We can go to the drive-in still.
yeah,
I
that's
heard
the
that's
thing.
crazy though.
I imagine like a lot of people are bringing their kids because they have like a playground and things like that there too.
Leave your kids at home.
Even then, no, maybe the playground's not open.
I would assume it's closed.
But might be a nice family affair. Well, we ain't got a family to take, but at the beginning of quarantine, we were like eating out a lot.
Yeah,
I'm gonna admit it.
because we have to support local business.
That's what our excuse was.
And
we'll support local business.
Since we both had jobs and our steady income, we're like, might as well support local businesses. There are a lot of local places we like that.
Actually trying to support them, like restaurants that we frequent.
That it's a small business where the owners work there and whatnot. So and are actively talking to customers, and they just have a good atmosphere, and you don't want those kinds of places to close down, especially food
that we love.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we were trying to support them for a while, and then we're like, man, this is kind of when local business turned to Popeye's drive-through is when we're like, we gotta hang this up. We gotta make some choices.
Yeah.
McDonald's and Popeye's drive-throughs.
We only went once.
To Popeye's like 3 times.
Twice. You went all the times to Popeye's. I went to McDonald's once when that was for breakfast. And then we went to sushi. We got sushi, which is a local business, restaurant.
But I'm talking about outside of local business. I'm talking about when we were starting to go to like frequent places like Popeyes, Raising Cane's, Wingstop. I was like, no, we gotta make some choices. And so we've been cooking at home now. Yeah.
Back to normal. Because normally before this, we would cook and eat at home 4 or 5 days a week at least, and maybe eat out once or twice. And that's just when we didn't take anything out for dinner, or we just wanted to make it an excuse and eat out. Yeah, which isn't terrible. It is what it is.
But we've been doing better. We've been cooking. I do most of the grocery shopping because I'll grocery shop for myself and my mom. But lately, I've been doing Walmart pickups. Well, at least I try to, but they're kind of hard to get. So, just to avoid the crowds and people, like the grocery store nearby us, it's a Smith's. If you guys don't know, what is that equivalent to? A Kroger?
Safeway?
Safeway?
No, Albertsons.
Doesn't matter. We have
it's a grocery store.
We have a Smith's, and they're taking like mad precautions. Like they have a certain amount of people in the store at one time. They have like 6 feet markers away from each customer when you're going in, and they sanitize all your carts before you get them. Like, of course, their employees wear masks and gloves. They sanitize all of their beltways between each customer. Like, they're doing their due diligence. I was going there for a while. Then I was like, no, I can't. Yeah, then I'm gonna try to minimize how much I go out as much as I can, especially because my mother is elderly. Is she elderly? Wow. She's a senior citizen.
She didn't mean to call you old.
Sorry, Mommy.
She called you old.
You're not elderly. I don't know. She's a senior citizen. That's the point. Technically, she's a senior citizen. Yeah. And I go and I take her groceries because I don't want her going out. You know? So I try to be as careful as I can so I'm not bringing anything to her. It's stressful.
Yeah. We did go to Costco once during the quarantine, and I liked how they did it. They basically only let a certain amount of people in the store at once, so they had a line. The line only took us maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah, and it was about half an hour.
There was like 80 to 100 people in the line, but lines when you're about to check out is 6 feet. They had a huge guard between you and the cashier, so you couldn't really pass any air or breath or saliva or whatnot, so sneezing. But it's just crazy. It's just something no one's experienced unless you're 105 and lived through the Spanish flu. Like, I get, like, we had the SARS and all that stuff, but it wasn't
to
like
this
this.
magnitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're living in unprecedented times at this point.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know,
Like
it's
some
surreal
cities,
almost.
yeah, some cities and states are giving out tickets for being outside your house
Yeah, I see
without a
that.
reason.
Some places in California.
Yeah, New York, I think.
New York, man. I'll get into that. But we went on our first adventure since quarantine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sage's auntie Pete, she lives like down the street from us. And she was like, "Oh, we should go on a hike." You know, like hiking is still pretty common here because we have so many hiking trails all over. Like we live in a valley surrounded by mountains. Like there's so many places to hike.
Mhm.
And this one particular place we were gonna go to was closed because they have a camping ground and recreational area. So that makes sense. So we were looking up other places, and a friend of hers recommended the China Ranch Date Farm.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
in Topeka, Tokepa. It's in
to
California.
it's Tacopa.
Tacopa.
Yeah, Tacopa, California. It's about an hour and a half drive away from here. And so we hop in the car. Well, we hop in the car to go meet up with his aunt, to carpool out to the date farm. And she goes, "Oh, some friends that want to caravan behind us." And it's a pack of little old ladies.
Yeah.
And it's like, this sounds a little bit irresponsible, but we were safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were we?
Were we? I
Well,
think so.
Yeah.
We weren't like touching each other or.
No.
And
And we drove in separate cars, so it was a
Mhm.
huge group of us.
Yeah.
And
There was only, what, 5 of us total.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad. But yeah, this date farm is open because they have like a little snack shack that's still open right now. And then their property has like a stream and then hiking trails
yeah,
there
and
as well.
deemed essential, I guess, because of agriculture and farmland, I would assume.
Mhm.
So it was nice just to get out, get some fresh air.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell air and views are a lot cleaner. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the sky's a lot cleaner. There's not much smog or fog.
It took a whole quarantine for us as a human race to realize that we were the problem.
Yeah, we've been the problem.
Yeah. Like they were saying how the canals in Venice are like clear now. You can actually see the fish. And like the smog over California is like clearing up.
Mhm.
I think we can see like it was so blue.
Yeah, I thought I saw the ocean at one point when we were driving, even though we were hours away from the beach.
Yeah. It's like ocean. But yeah, it was like just
So colorblind, so that
doesn't
doesn't
help.
help at all.
That doesn't help at all. But like it was really nice just to get out. We had a picnic lunch at the on the farm ground, and then we had some date Sundays. The whole that whole town was out of power that day.
Yeah, and there's like 90 people that live in that town.
Super small town.
Yeah.
Super small town. There's only like 90 people, like you said there. But yeah, and so since their power was down, they usually have like date shakes and smoothies and stuff like that. And so there was no power, but they were still scooping ice cream.
Yeah. So instead of shakes, they had sundaes
Yeah,
with like caramelized dates and the syrup. It was
it
good.
was so good.
I never had fresh dates before.
I don't think I had either.
I was never good at getting dates.
But
Anyways,
anyway, but yeah, and so that was nice. We highly recommend it. I mean, if you can drive out somewhere, if your like state has like a lot of hiking trails, it's a good option to
get outside, away
get
from people. Hey, get
Mhm.
some fresh corona-free air.
Yeah.
It was nice. Just being outside right now is nice. Because
It
even
is.
though my day-to-day schedule's pretty much the same, I never went like outside. You know what I
We're
mean?
homebodies
Yeah.
naturally.
So it was nice. Get some fresh air, see some different sceneries.
Especially because it's a place we both had never been.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that also added to it.
Yeah. But so without being able to go to too many different places, like you can't go to your mom's right now and stuff
I tried
too
to
much.
Yeah, try to minimize that.
How do you deal with getting irritated? Like you said, you were in kind of a mood last week and you were short. What helped with that? Like, is it just us separating inside the house for a little bit just to reset mentally, or was it just you saying stop being this way, like stop being in a mood, or what?
I feel like, how do I explain it? I feel like I woke up in a mood.
Yeah.
Like that morning. Well, I mean, the night before, I would say. The night before. Like I went to bed in a kind of off mood, and then I woke up and it kind of just carried through the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that morning, I was like, have a good day at work. Like we barely really talked. And then at lunchtime, you came home at lunch and like we had lunch together and we just chatted a little bit. But it wasn't as much as we usually do. And I think at that point, I was like, look, he's going to come home from work and you're going to have to face this anyway. So you might as well. That day I didn't study. I ended up not doing my study because I usually work my shift and then afterwards I'll log on to my schoolwork and do that for a few hours and then you get home and it's like very scheduled and back to back to back. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do schoolwork today. So I was like, I'm gonna have to get out of this one way or the other. So I just decided not to do my schoolwork. And instead, I was just like scrolling on my phone. Like, I hopped in the shower. And then after I got out the shower, I got dressed. So I was like, well, I might as well like take this time to decompress. Maybe I'll feel a little bit better by the time he gets home.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up, one of my friends ends up messaging me and was all like, oh, me and so want to hop on video call. Are you available? And I was like, yeah, you're going to help me. Like, you're going to help me distract from how I'm feeling right now. Like, absolutely. So I ended up just chatting with my friends on FaceTime for a little while. And I think that helped like break up the way I was feeling and like help me decompress from my emotions for a second. And then when by the time he called me that he was on his way home, like, it's like, it really wasn't that big of a deal for me to be letting my whole day hit a funk because of no good reason, you know?
Because I had no clue. I mean, I realized you were in the mood, but I had no clue what it was. Because when I was going to bed that day, or when I came to bed that night, you were kind of in a mood. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, whatever. You just went to bed. Then in the morning, you were in the same kind of funk, and I was like, all right. So then I started thinking, if I did something wrong or whatnot, it's like, I don't know. And then when I got off of work and you sounded like yourself, then I'm like, so it's just over? Nothing, like, you know what I mean? It's just switch on, switch off, and then it's like, I don't know, because it's weird. Like, was it something I did? Was it something she was going through? Because you didn't really talk to me about it too much. You're in the mood, then you're out of the mood, and then...
That's what I told you. I was just in a mood, and it wasn't worth anything. Like, you know, I'm kind of a moody person.
Not really. Sometimes.
But it's apparent when I'm not feeling very well.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I think that helped. Like, me realizing that there's nothing I can do. Like, there's no point in me, like, throwing away my whole day and feeling down about nothing, really. Mm-hmm. And then, like, I don't know, letting it carry on longer than it needed to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helped that my friends were a nice distraction. So I was able to chat with them for a while and like laugh it off.
Thank you, friends.
Especially.
Help my night.
Yeah. You're annoying.
Yeah, that's why I thought you were in the mood. Thought I said so.
No.
What's been your favorite quarantine meal that we've had? Eating out or at home that we cooked or you cooked?
Mostly me. I do most of the cooking.
This year of the relationship.
Yeah. And
the first year and a half was all me.
I've been cooking more than you were cooking at this point.
Well, we live together, so...
Yeah. So I've been doing more.
Anyways, what's your favorite dish or dinner that we've had?
What I've made.
Mine is sushi.
But that doesn't count because we went and bought it.
Yeah, well, I'm saying any meal that we've went and got to.
Lefty J's.
Lefty J's.
Yeah.
That's a Hawaiian lunch shop right next to us. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Lefty J's.
That food always makes me feel at home and feel right. Like if I'm having a bad day, Hawaiian food will just change it.
Yeah.
Or sushi. Which is... The thing about sushi is, like, it's all you can eat places around here.
It just feels like such a scam when you have to buy it. Like,
but The
Not
place
on
that we go, if you check in on social media, they give you half off. And we got a good amount of food. Like it filled us up. And the
yeah.
first time we went, we had extra, and it was like the same price. The second time it was the same price with the tip, and the first time it was like $15 more, and we had
So
some left over for the morning. So it was pretty much the same thing, but
all things considered, it's about the same price. But it's like once you see it versus like I don't know, it's like what you could have had versus what you have now.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was good.
But it was delicious.
That's
I
the
mean,
main
don't
thing.
get me wrong, I'll still go. So obviously it's worth it to some degree.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's the case. I was mostly thinking about things that I've cooked.
Mm.
We did
Wings.
spaghetti last week with edamame noodles
That was good. We got edamame noodles from
from
Costco.
Costco. They're really good.
Those
They're
were
low
pretty
carb
good.
too. I've been making a lot of wings.
Yeah,
I usually par cook them in the instant pot and then throw them in the oven until they're crispy.
so Instant Pot is a godsend.
Yeah, so instead of taking like 40 minutes to fry chicken wings, you can make them with the instant pot in the oven for like 15
Yeah.
in 15 minutes.
How long do you cook them in an Instant Pot? 10 minutes?
Oh, guess.
5.
Yeah.
5
5
minutes.
minutes.
in
2
an
pounds of
Instant
chicken
Pot.
wings, 5 minutes, and it's pretty much all the way done.
And then you bake them. Then you take them out, sauce them, and bake them again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And what else?
Sweet potato fries. We had sweet potato fries one
Yeah,
day
we
with
made them.
I like sweet potato fries.
Mm-hmm. We made them. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just we eat like the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
We're simple people.
Yeah. We're very simple. But what do you think is gonna be a takeaway from this whole quarantine experience
What do you mean the takeaway?
moving forward? Like are there any aspects of your life you feel that you will value more once we're unquarantined?
No. Maybe
No.
health. I think health mainly.
Yeah.
Probably the only thing. Because like I said, it's different for me to get in that mentality of what's actually going on and what is at stake other than people's lives. You know what I mean? Like the day to day things haven't changed for me, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything that's going on or everything that's going to be affected by it or not. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I rarely watch the news. All the news I get is from Facebook and Instagram
And me.
and you. And it's like, then I come with a ill-informed quote I saw earlier, and you're like, no, that's not what that is. I'm like, oh well, you know what I mean. So it's like, yeah, I mean, just help because I mean, like you were talking about that one person you knew from high school that went to the hospital for one thing, they diagnosed it as something else, they put her in a chemically induced coma, and then that was
The end of it.
yeah. So it's like you never know how quick someone can go. And even before this quarantine started, there were 4 people in and around my family that passed away. They were older people, 40 or over. So it's like, but still, that's young. Like anyone that's 40 or 50 knows that's young still. Like, because you live to 80, that's another 40 or 30 or 40 years. So
that could have been a part of your life.
yeah, so life's fragile, and it's like just makes me appreciate life and being healthy for the most part, and the loved ones around you, like you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah. What about you?
Just chilling with my mom.
Yeah.
Like going over to her house and just hanging out on the couch and listening to her talk and me talk.
You guys can talk.
And I feel like I just don't go over there as much. Like I used to go over there at least once a week. And we would just hang out and chat, like catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we just can't right now because I don't want to put her at risk. Like I'm around you all the time. You're going to work and coming back. I'm exposed to everybody you've been exposed to.
And that's the thing, like
to work and coming back. And then me going to the grocery store whenever I do. I haven't been to the grocery store in about 2-3 weeks.
So I've gone to the grocery store once or twice.
Yeah.
And then getting gas, you're touching what other people have touched. And I mean, I work with the same 8 to 9 cultivator, but then we use the same front door and the same clocking room as the people doing deliveries. And then they go out and deliver and come back. So it's like as safe as we can try and be with hand sanitizer and alcohol and face masks. Like any one slip up or one mistake can, bring that virus with you wherever you go.
Yeah,
So
like you just don't know, and I don't want to jeopardize my family by being irresponsible and going over to my mom's house when I can just wait it out and then just go and see her when it's okay to do so, you know. So that's probably the biggest thing. Um, yeah, and then like being able just to go out and do your own leisure things when you feel without having that like I don't know feeling of like. You know, the side eye of the people around you, you know? Like, you just
yeah.
never know.
Because there's some people, like when I go to the grocery store, some people are taking it very seriously, and then some people that aren't taking it seriously.
Like, at all.
Like we went to Walgreens, and there's this old guy. He had a huge like painter's mask with the respirators, and if you got too close to him, he just like stood and waited for you to move.
Yeah, but he ain't got, like he I don't know. He was at-risk population, so
No,
you
for
can
sure.
understand.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking him for that, but it's like there's some guy that's like, "Oh, you go next," like in line. He's like, "I'm waiting for you to move." Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, some people are thinking, some aren't as much, and it's just about like you said, like you're thinking about your mom and going over there and stuff, and I'm just thinking about work and here. You know what I mean? So it's just everyone's thinking differently. Which, if we're not all thinking the same, then that's just going to hurt everything in the long run. I feel like not being on the same page, like with Florida and Georgia trying to open, it's like we're not all on the same page, obviously, as a country, let alone states. So I don't know. Who knows what can happen?
yeah, we'll just have to wait it out and see. Probably in the next coming months, like,
Yeah,
yeah. Also, we've seen a protest on the way home when we were coming back from our adventure.
we did.
We see just like this whole
Line of
line of
cars.
cars like coming out of one of the malls, like one of our bigger malls, the South Premium Outlet.
They're driving towards the strip.
Yeah, going. They're probably gonna ride down the boulevard, which makes sense because they were turning onto the boulevard.
Yeah.
But
But they had American flags and Trump fucking posters, and
it was just crazy.
then there's people outside their cars not in line, like giving them
Mhm.
the thumbs down and stuff, and
Yeah,
it's
and I was
just
like,
something.
I don't know.
Like we get it. You think,
Mhm.
I mean, we live in America, the land of the free, but it's like it's not about you right now. Like you have the opportunity to stay home, be safe, be like looking at the bright side. You can be with your family, hang out
Exactly.
with them, and then you have people that are first responders or working at grocery stores that are literally in contact with this at all time who can't do that
Exactly.
because if you just quit or you don't get laid off, like you don't have any financial backup, like you have to stay working.
Yeah,
Um,
there's no choice.
no.
And it's like they have the luxury to protest.
Yeah.
Spend the time with your family,
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the good right now because that's all you really have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focused on the good. I like that. It's a quote for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
I struggle
remind
with
you.
that.
I'll remind you. But yeah, so we just wanted to give you guys a little insight into our quarantine life right now.
Yeah.
And how things are going.
Yeah. So I think this will be our only quarantine topic. We
Yeah,
don't want
we
to get in
haven't.
it too much. We just wanted to say what was up, really, what we
Yeah,
thought, but
we haven't talked about it at all,
no.
really, up until this point. So we thought that we would at least like not try to play ignorant on the like
Just,
we are very much aware of what's going on,
yeah.
but yeah.
So we hope you guys have a good week and focus on the good, enjoy your time with your families. If you aren't working, just take this time to learn something new or do something you've always wanted to do. Not travel or anything, obviously, but go outside and see a new mountain range or park, or I know a lot of beaches are closed, or read a book or learn a skill. And if you are working, good luck. I know it's tough times for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, you guys are getting hazard pay or something extra, or just an income, I guess.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. We'll do.
All right.
Sweet.
Bye.
Bye.